Never Harding must have put my pack here. Makes sense. Better place to sleep than the infirmary. Guess I can spare a few moments to unpack my things. Varric and his life lessons. I asked him how we were supposed to stop Solus, and he gave me this. Take a long, hard look in it, kid. It'll always show the face of a hero who can get it done. It took a while for me to figure out why the face staring back from the mirror felt wrong. But once I was able to be honest with myself, it was a relief to figure out I was trans. And it's worth it to look in the mirror today and see the man I am staring back. I helped a lot of Minrath's slaves escape to freedom the night I met Varric. Then the Magisters cracked down in retaliation, and the Shadow Dragons decided I was too much trouble to keep around. I'm never going to apologize for freeing slaves, but I hope the Shadow Dragons got through the backlash safely. A peddler gave me this after I saved his caravan from bandits. He told me nobles think of ruling like a game of chess, that each move determined what mark humanity will leave on the world. We fight each other, we oppress the elves, we're at war with the Antam. If our rulers keep treating everything like a war game, the only marks we'll leave on the world will be scorch marks. A meditation upon the use of blades. Huh. Must have read this thing cover to cover a dozen times during weapons training. The number of times I banged my head against this book trying to make the concepts work, but that training has kept me alive so far. Right, that's better. Now, how do I connect to Solus? Just sleep or relaxing? Maybe if I clear my mind.
Back so soon. It must have been worse than I had thought.
Hello, Dreadwolf.
But perhaps I am mistaken. You may be here to correct me, to tell me that my concerns were unfounded. I am, after all, remembered as the god of lies, treachery, and rebellion.
So you're gonna be insufferable about it. See, this is the reason nobody likes you.
I led a rebellion for centuries that culminated in the creation of the Veil and the destruction of the Elven Empire.
Okay, this is among the reasons nobody likes you.
My information was accurate. Now you realize that the danger is real.
I need to know what the gods are planning.
You are asking for knowledge no mortal in this world is privy to. If I am to share it with you, I need to know what makes you the right person to lead the fight against Algernon and Gelilean.
I'm not in charge of everyone. I'm just leading my little team until Varric is back on his feet.
I understand your fear. Declare yourself the leader, and others may think you power-hungry, no better than those you oppose.
I didn't say I was afraid. I met Varric when he asked the Shadow Dragons for help with freeing an old friend from Venatori slavers. The Shadow Dragons had a safe plan that wasn't gonna work.
So you and Varric led an armed rebellion and dealt a devastating blow to the Venatori.
How'd you know that?
You helped Varric pursue me for the better part of a year. It would have been foolish not to learn about who was hunting me.
Then you know I'm not interested in a fancy title. But when something needs doing, I do it.
I suppose I was not so different when I started.
Started what?
My rebellion against the Evanuris. The elven gods, as you call them. They wish to reclaim their dominion over this world. To accomplish that, they will need two things. First, the Blight. What exists in this world is a bare fragment of its power. The rest is imprisoned, until they release it.
The rest of the Blight is imprisoned? There's more than what's in the world already?
Yes. Centuries ago, the Magisters of Tevinter opened my prison. A tiny fragment of the Blight escaped. That fragment grew beneath the earth and led to the Blights that have swept across the world. However terrible the Blight is now, it is a mere fraction of what we will see if its full power is unleashed.
The Blight didn't escape with the gods?
Elganon and Gillenane escaped largely empty-handed, fortunately. Most of the Blight is still trapped in the prison I created ages ago.
So what we saw at that village, that's them not at full strength?
Correct.
I don't understand. Elganon and Gillenane were elves like you, right? Why would they want to blight the world?
It is my fault. As the Dread Wolf, I was a thorn in their side. When my efforts weakened their grasp on the elven people, they grew frustrated, then desperate.
And turned to the Blight.
Once the corruption took hold of them, they were blind to its horror. It was just another source of power for them. Now they would blight the world without hesitation and call us backward and foolish for opposing them.
Then we shut down whatever they need to do to free the Blight.
They will need to pierce the veil to reach the Blight's prison. My Lyrium dagger is one of the few artifacts capable of doing so.
We've already recovered it from the ritual site.
Excellent. Then they will have to make their own. That will give you time.
You said the gods needed two things, and the Blight is the first. What's the second?
Followers. They have called themselves gods. And what is a god without worshippers to sing their praises?
You think they want the elves back? I don't think the elven people will bend a knee to blighted, murderous monsters.
Agreed. Elganon and Gillenane care little for the elves. They will find worshippers among those hungry for power. Tyrants and bullies. The cruel and the corrupt, who fear their own vulnerability and seize any chance to feel strong. If you hunt them, they will lead you to Elganon and Gillenane.
You want me to pick fights with tyrants and bullies? Sounds fun.
I gave no orders. All I offer are suggestions.
I'm on it. What else?
The Veravas, the lighthouse Soluvian, can take you anywhere, if you master its secrets. Have you done so?
Not yet, but we've got one of the Veil Jumpers working on it. She'll get it sorted and we'll see how it goes.
Yes. I suppose we will. And when you speak with Varric, please tell him that I regret what happened.
Solus told the truth about the gods.
You heard? It's bad, Varric. If you had seen Demeter's crossing.
The team needs to act fast. And it can't do that with me leading from a bed. You've got to take point on this.
I can't do what you do. I've barely been holding it together in the short time you've been out.
You don't need to do what I do. You just need to get it done. Rook, when I put this team together, what did I look for? A detective to find the Dreadwolf, and a scout to get us the lay of the land. Exactly the people he'd expect me to recruit. Disciplined, predictable. And then there's you. Remember when we first met, kid? You risked your neck to bring down an entire slavery ring. Pretty much by yourself.
I had help.
Sure. I got winded about 5 minutes in. You did most of the work. Ticked off a bunch of Minrathous big shots, but you've got a knack, kid.
For what?
Finding a way through the wildest shit I've ever seen. With a plan that no one expects. On the best day of his life, Solus wouldn't see you coming, Rook. And don't worry. I'll still be here to talk if you need me.
There is something. When I took over at the ritual site, I had to make a call on who came with me to knock over that statue. It was the first decision I made leading this team, and Harding got hurt because of it.
You made a decision with the best information you had. Sometimes you do that, and people end up hurt. Or worse.
What would you have done?
What would I have done? Probably gotten myself killed and failed to stop the ritual if you hadn't stepped in. A good leader isn't someone who never makes mistakes. It's someone who admits when they make one. That's how you earn their trust.
Did Nev tell you about me talking to Solus in the Fade?
I had some good arguments with Chuckles back in the day. I can't imagine being stuck with him in my head. But how are you feeling about it?
Your old friend is kind of an asshole, Varric.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall while the two of you get into it. Solus fought a rebellion against Elgar'nan and Gillenane. He didn't want to be a god. But he's also a lot older and more powerful than any of us. He looks at us like we're toddlers.
So how do I deal with him?
Act like you're as smart as he is, and he'll be insufferable. Show him you respect his age and experience, and he'll remind you he's just a man. Honestly, pick whichever of those pisses you off less.
He also asked me to tell you that he regrets what happened. Hurting you, I mean.
Chuckles is sentimental. He could burn the world down, and the thing that would make him cry is a single flower with blackened petals.
Demetis Crossing was awful. While we were there, we found one survivor, the mayor.
You took him back to the Veil Jumpers.
Not everyone was happy about my decision. We're just starting out, and I'm already losing their trust.
The key to earning the team's trust isn't to only make decisions everyone agrees with. It's showing the team that they can tell you whatever's on their mind, even if they think you're full of crap, and know you'll listen.
I'll let you get some rest.
You're gonna be fine, Rook. Hey, one last thing before you go. I've been racking my brain thinking of contacts who might help us with these gods.
You got any ideas?
Nothing. But being a leader isn't about having all the answers yourself. It's about knowing who does. Nev has connections to a whole world that Harding and I barely know. Might be worth talking to her.
Will do. Thanks, Varric.
Anytime.